I am absolutely convinced that the Vermont Women in Higher Education has done much to raise the status of the young women. And I've known many college presidents in Vermont who have been encouraged by it to enable their young faculty members, administrators, and staff members to really be recognized and be empowered. That's a favorite word of mine, in their position.
It was back in the late 70s when ASNP hit the foreground all across the country. ASNP was, the acronym stands for the American Council on Education / National Identification Program, parentheses, for the advancement of women in higher education. And it was sponsored by the Office of Women in Higher Education out of the American Council on Education, which was based at 1 DuPont Circle.
The idea was to identify and promote the advancement of women, or the advancement of women in higher ed. Not all to be presidents, etc., but the idea was if you don't know who they are and if you don't help people identify themselves and learn skills, then who will ever know who they are? So Vermont was one of the states early on to get involved in this project. And it had two very clear purposes. One was to create a network of women. The idea was men had networks, and there was the old boys network, and we needed to create the old girls network and not be ashamed of it or reticent about it, but you have to support one another, you have to identify one another, you have to promote one another, and if you don't know who one another is, how do you do it? And the second prong was to actually teach some technical, for lack of a better word, skills. So if you're going to advance, what do you need to know about marketing, about finance, about making presentations, about whatever? So the idea was to try to complement whatever other sources of education or professional development women might have, and the focus really was on women administrators more so than women faculty who wanted to get into administration.
What's different yet about Vermont Women in Higher Ed and ASNP before it is that it has never been a membership-based organization. There are no dues. I'm not even sure yet if there's a constitution or bylaws. We never had officers. We had a treasurer, and then the state coordinator. I served in that capacity for 2 or 3 years. And so it was a very loosely coupled organization, if you will, that people just came to.
We just all kind of came together and thought, wouldn't it be wonderful if at least once a year we can gather all this wonderful young talent and working together we can encourage each other.
In terms of, again, VWHE and perhaps how it's distinguished itself from some other statewide organizations, it has always been very broad and egalitarian in terms of who participates in the conferences. And so you have administrative assistants up through presidents or vice presidents attending, making presentations, etc.
We want to make sure that we're serving women in higher education in the state of Vermont at all levels, in all disciplines, or regardless of discipline.
I have the greatest admiration for these young people that are trying to keep it alive today, because it's not easy to keep an organization like this going. And the people have to do it in addition to their own full-time job. And I have just absolute admiration for the younger women that have said we're going to keep working at it and working at it. And some years we'll have a big crowd, and other years there won't be so many. But you just stick with it and make sure that you can help other people advance in their profession.